Welcome back to AFT Dice Season 5. It is round 16. It is the second last home and away round of the season before the finals. Let's get stuck into it. It is Sydney Swans versus Melbourne at the SCG. Let's go to the first quarter. First quarter's nearly done. And the first quarter's done. Melbourne have kicked 3 goals, 6-24 to Sydney, 2-3-15. Let's go to the second quarter. Melbourne are up by 9 points. And Sydney, they've kicked 6 goals, 4 in that second quarter to Melbourne, 2-3. And at halftime, Sydney are up by 16 points. Let's go to the third quarter. Sydney are out of the 8. And Sydney, they've kicked 2 goals, 6 to Melbourne, 1-2 in that third quarter. Sydney extend their lead. They've got a 26-point lead in this game. Sydney are just outside the 8. They need to win the last 2 games to have any hope of finals. Okay, final scores. Sydney, they've won by 19 points. Melbourne, they kicked 2 goals, 4 in the last quarter to Sydney, 1-3. Final scores, Sydney 11-16-82 to Melbourne 8-15-63. All right, let's go to the next. The next game of the round is North Melbourne versus West Coast Eagles at Marvel Stadium. And the first quarter's done. Very even. West Coast are up by 1 point, 12-11. All right, second quarter. Second quarter, West Coast, they've kicked 6 goals, 1 to North Melbourne, 2 goals, 2. And at halftime, West Coast are up by 24 points. All right, let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, North Melbourne, they've kicked back. They've kicked 5 goals, 2 to West Coast, 3 goals, 2. And at three-quarter time, West Coast are up by 12 points. Let's go to the last quarter to see who wins. And in the end, West Coast, they've kicked 6 goals, 6 in the last quarter to North Melbourne, 3 goals, 4. And West Coast, they won by 32 points. All right, final scores, North Melbourne 11-13-79 to West Coast Eagles, 16-15-111. All right. Okay, let's go to the next game. It is Hawthorn versus Port Adelaide at Marvel Stadium. Okay. First quarter's done. Hawthorn, they've kicked 4 goals, 2 to Port Adelaide, 1-5. Hawthorn are up by 15 points. Let's go to the second quarter. Second quarter, Port Adelaide, they've kicked 5 goals, 3 to Hawthorn, 1-1. And at halftime, Port Adelaide are leading by 11 points. All right, let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, very even. Port Adelaide, they won it by 4 points. They kicked 4 goals, 5 to Hawthorn, 4 goals, 1. And at three-quarter time, Port Adelaide are up by 15 points. Let's go to the last quarter to see who wins. And in the end, Port Adelaide, they've won by 22 points. They kicked 4 goals, 5 to Hawthorn, 3 goals, 4. Final scores, Hawthorn 12-8-80 to Port Adelaide, 14 goals, 18-102. All right, let's go to the next game. It is Adelaide versus Carlton at Adelaide Oval. First quarter, very even. Carlton are up by 2 points, 5-4 to 5-2. Let's go to the second quarter. Second quarter, Adelaide, they kick 6 goals, 6 to Carlton, 4 goals, 6. And at half-time, Adelaide are leading by 10 points, 74 to 64. Let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, Carlton have kicked 5 goals, 3 to Adelaide, 2 goals, 2. And at three-quarter time, Adelaide are down by 9 points. Let's go to the last quarter to see who wins. And in the end, Carlton have got over the line. It was even in the last quarter, 5-2 apiece. But Carlton won by 9 points. Final scores, Adelaide 18-12, 120 to Carlton, 19-15, 129. All right, let's go to the next game. It is Essendon versus Fremantle at Marvel Stadium. Essendon, they've kicked 6 goals, 3. Fremantle, 3 goals, 6. Essendon are up by 15 points. at quarter time. Let's go to the second quarter. Second quarter, Fremantle, they've kicked 6 goals, 3 to Essendon, 4 goals, 5. At halftime, Essendon are up by 5 points. All right, let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, Fremantle, they kick 5 goals, 5 to Essendon, 4 goals, 5. And at three-quarter time, Fremantle are up by 1 point. All right, let's go to the last quarter to see who wins. And in the end, Essendon, they got a big final score on the board. They kicked 6 goals, 5 to Fremantle, 1-1. And in the end, Essendon have won by 33 points. Essendon final score, 2018, 138 to Fremantle, 15-15, 105. All right, let's go to the match of the round. It is Brisbane versus Geelong at the Gabba. First quarter's done. Brisbane, they've kicked 3 goals, 2-20 to Geelong, 2-1, 13. Let's go to the second quarter. Second quarter, Geelong, they've kicked 5 goals, 5 to Brisbane, 3 goals, 2. Geelong are up by 8 points at halftime. Let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, Geelong, they've kicked 5 goals, 2 to Brisbane, 4 goals, 5. 11 points the difference at three-quarter time. Let's go to the last quarter to see who wins. And in the end, Brisbane, they've kicked 5 goals, 4 to Geelong, 1-2 in that last quarter. Brisbane got over the line by 15 points. Brisbane, 15-13, 103 to Geelong, 13-10, 88. All right, let's go to the next game. It is Gold Coast Suns versus St Kilda at Metricon Stadium. We've got Gold Coast. They kicked 6 goals, 1 to St Kilda, 3 goals, 6. 13 points up, Gold Coast. Let's go to the second quarter. Second quarter, Gold Coast, they've kicked 4 goals, 1 to St Kilda, 2 goals, 2. And at half time, Gold Coast are up by 24 points. Let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, Gold Coast, they've kicked 5 goals, 5 to St Kilda, 1-2. And Gold Coast, they're up by 51 points. Let's go to the last quarter. The last quarter, even 5-3 apiece in that last quarter. Gold Coast won by 51 points. Final scores 20-10, 130 for Gold Coast to St Kilda, 11-13, 79. All right, let's go to the next game. It's Western Bulldogs versus Richmond. Richmond, they've kicked 6 goals, 1 to Western Bulldogs, 2 goals, 5. Richmond are up by 20 points. Let's go to the second quarter. Second quarter, Western Bulldogs, they've kicked 4 goals, 1 to Richmond, 2 goals, 5. Richmond are up by 12 points. Let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, Western Bulldogs, they kicked 5 goals, 1 to Richmond, 2 goals, 5. And Western Bulldogs are 2 points up at three-quarter time. Let's go to the last quarter to see who wins. And in the end, Richmond have kicked 6 goals, 3 to Western Bulldogs, 2 goals, 3 in the last quarter. Richmond won by 22 points. Western Bulldogs, 13-10, 88 to Richmond, 16-14, 110. All right, let's go to the last game of the round. It is GWS Giants versus Collingwood. Let's go to the first quarter. GWS have kicked 4 goals, 4 to Collingwood, 3 goals, 5. 5 points of difference. Second quarter. Second quarter, GWS have kicked 6 goals, 4 to Collingwood, 3 goals, 1. And at half time, GWS are up by 26 points. Let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, Collingwood have kicked 4 goals, 2 to GWS, 3 goals, 6. And at three-quarter time, GWS are up by 24 points. Let's go to the last quarter, see who wins. And in the end, GWS have won by 34 points. All right, GWS, they kick 4 goals, 6 to Collingwood, 3-2 in that last quarter. Final scores, GWS 17-20, 122 to Collingwood 13-10, 88. All right, that completes round 16 for AFT Dice Season 5. We've got a new leader on the table. We've got Port Adelaide on top with a half a game clear of Adelaide Crows. Round 17 is match of the round. It's first versus second. Port Adelaide versus Adelaide Crows in the last quarter. Then we've got GWS Giants in third place, and then Geelong in fourth place. And then the remaining 4 teams in the 8 are Richmond, Melbourne, Gold Coast Suns, and Brisbane Lions. And then we've got Fremantle down the bottom of the ladder. Who will win the wooden spoon? Because there's only one game left. Carlton, they got a win over the Adelaide Crows over in Adelaide Oval. So they avoid the wooden spoon, and it will be Fremantle's wooden spoon for the second time in 5 seasons. All right. The next round is the last round before the finals. We've got some ripper games. We've got GWS Giants versus Melbourne. So we've got 3rd versus 6th. And then we've got Sydney versus North Melbourne. So whoever wins out of that could well make the finals this season. And then we've got West Coast Eagles versus Hawthorn. So the teams down the bottom of the ladder. And we've got the match of the round, Port Adelaide versus Adelaide Crows at Adelaide Oval. And then we've got Carlton versus Essendon, who were the grand finalists from last season, not this season. And then we've got Fremantle versus Brisbane Lions. So we've got Brisbane in the 8 at the moment, and then we've got Fremantle on the bottom of the ladder. So that could be interesting. Gold Coast Suns versus Geelong. So it is 4th versus 7th in that game. So whoever wins that game potentially could get in will make the top 4. And then Western Bulldogs versus St Kilda. So 14th versus 15th. And then we've got Collingwood versus Richmond. So we've got Collingwood trying to get in the 8. So it is a crucial game for Collingwood, who need to win to try and cement their spot in the finals. All right, we've got number 1 offence team, GWS Giants, and then the number 1 defence team is Melbourne. All right, we'll see you next time on Tuesday, the 18th of June, 2024 for round 17, the last round before the finals. See you then.